Is it really true that if the minimum wage goes up 15 times, that the price of the alleged necessities of life will as well?
Of course not. Why else are we here?
Not even when you reduce the multitude of things that realistically create a quality atmosphere of human existence to one single solitary product. We've established an alternate reality with farms ran by people who own cows that eat corn and produce milk. If there is only one employee on the farm, this is what happens. Frankie produces milk for themselves, and then what?
I have a gallon of milk, silly.
Yes, Frankie, you have a gallon of milk now, but do you want to sell it or do you want to keep it?
I'm gonna keep it because I'm not stupid.
In order for Frankie's farm to ever be a viable business, it first needs a product to sell. If Frankie has one cow that produces 1 gallon of milk per day, then we're done. Frankie has a gallon of milk. There's nothing else to sell. Unless, as I pointed out earlier, there is a cheaper alternative to milk such that Frankie could sell milk for a little more than they need to buy corn for both themselves and for the dairy cow. Aha! Another caveat. Frankie has to either be producing their own corn or they have to have enough of an income from something to buy corn from somewhere else. There's no which came first problem here. Frankie has to have a source of corn in order to feed the cow to produce milk in the first place. Again, cake anyone? Since there is nowhere to go from here, we must assume that the cow is able to produce at least 2 gallons of milk. And Frankie must be able to milk the cow themselves in one day in order to procure said product. Let's establish that 1 employee per cow who together produce 2 gallons of milk is the absolute minimum necessary for the dairy farm to be a commercial enterprise. Additional support for this comes from the fact that in order for the farm to make a profit, 1 gallon of milk worth $15 when the employee is to be paid $18.45 leaves the farm at a deficit of $3.45. Each employee must produce at least 2 gallons of milk in order to earn their keep, so to speak. It's quite clear that there isn't enough money here unless each employee is responsible for the production of at least 2 gallons of milk. So, 2 gallons of milk each, it is. Frankie produces 2 gallons of milk. They keep one and sell the other for allegedly $15. Still not enough to pay an employee to do the work for them. Frankie needs another cow. 4 gallons of milk, keeping 1 and selling 3, and Frankie has $45 profit. Frankie hires an employee to milk the second cow every day. From the $45 profit, subtract the wage of 1 employee to arrive at Frankie's profit of $26.55. Frankie could afford to hire someone else at this point and stop milking themselves entirely. That sounded strange. Frankie can quit milking cows every day and go do something else. Frankie can devote all of their time to farming corn. That leaves Frankie with a profit of $8.10, even after giving themselves a gallon of milk and paying both employees. But what to spend it on? There's only one place in this strange alternate reality with wiggle room, and that's the price of milk. Frankie can devote all of their time to farming corn. That leaves Frankie with an overall profit of $8.10. But what to spend it on? In this weird alternate reality, there isn't anything with much wiggle room. We don't have any information about what else exists. The only other variable that exists is this crazy high price of milk. Okay, and buying more cows. So, let's magically grant Frankie a bull and fertile female offspring so that cows are as self-procreating as the corn is. If we assume that the goal is simply to break even because there isn't anything else to spend your money on, enter third grade word problem. Frankie has 2 cows that produce 2 gallons of milk each for a total of 4 gallons of milk. Frankie has to pay 2 employees $18.45 each with the money from the sale of 3 gallons of milk. How much does each gallon need to cost? The total profit on 3 gallons of milk equals the cost to pay 2 employees. 3 gallons equals 2 times the daily wage of $18.45. 3G equals $36.90, so 1G equals $12.30. Oh, how funny! Not only can you afford the milk with your $13.10, you've got 80 cents left over to stare at. Let's adjust the scenario once again now that we see that it's possible for the milk to be affordable, and with only 2 employees, no less. Once again, it seems like the reality that belies this meme was known to the author, who then purposefully customized it to make their point, as invalid as it may be. This reverse engineering is quite elegant in that it just happens to be the case that the math we just did is so even. The wage of 2 employees is divided evenly by the alleged cost of 3 gallons of milk, minimally necessary to sell in order to make a profit and not be milking the cows yourself. And that milk happens to be affordable with some spare change with only 2 employees. Very interesting. Let's keep on cruising. Let's set the price of milk at the daily net wage of $13.10. So 3 times $13.10 is $39.30 minus the $36.90 to pay the employees equals $2.40. Over time, Frankie would be able to save up enough money to buy more cows. The more cows, the more milk. The more milk, the more dairy profits, and the less they have to sell the milk for. Let's see that in action. Assume Frankie now has 10 cows and 10 employees. 20 gallons, 10 times $18.45 plus a profit. So that ends up being 20 times $13.10 equals 10 times $18.45 plus a profit. $262 equals $184.50 plus a profit. $262 minus $184.50 equals $77.50 in profit for Frankie. So remember that in that particular example, the numbers are based on the milk being $13.10 a gallon. What you get is an actual necessary cost to break even of $9.23 a gallon. But that, of course, leaves no room for any profit for Frankie. Let's say that Frankie would like a little nest egg of $18.45 per day for themselves. That just means that the milk would need to be $10.15 per gallon. The price of products is the result of the cost of doing business, space rental, insurance, startup capital and/or assets, etc., plus the cost of labor, the amount of profit that the company wants to make, and the volume of production. Paying people $15 an hour to work at McDonald's is not necessarily going to make the dollar menu the $1.50 menu. Strictly speaking, that money comes from somewhere. Company profits. Now, of course, those profits also pay the non-producing employees, but it also pays some other things as well. It also pays for business expansion, improved brick and mortar locations, upgraded production technology, and the research and development of new products or services. But who gets the leftovers? Shareholders do, in the form of dividends. In 2016, McDonald's Corporation paid stockholders enough money in dividends to have given each of its approximately 2 million employees a bonus of over $1,500 apiece.
Dividends are paid quarterly. So as you can see, in 2016, that was approximately 90 cents per quarter. Take that times the 861 million shares and get approximately $3.1 billion. Divide that by the approximately 2 million employees to arrive at the $1,500. So a percent yearly salary increase of this amount of money for these employees using 25 hours per week as your average. At federal minimum wage, which is $7.25 an hour, times 25 hours a week, times 52 weeks a year, gives you $9,425, a 16.49% raise. In California, where the minimum wage is $12 an hour, the same calculation yields a yearly salary of $15,600 for a total increase of 9.96%. The dividend history gives some more facts and figures about the dividends that are paid out by a company. The payout ratio is the percent of net profit that's paid out in dividends. 27.57% of net profit for McDonald's in 2016 was about $3.11 billion. Divide that by the percent to get an $11.27 billion net profit. The dividend yield is the dividend amount divided by either the actual cost of shares or the company's valuation in the marketplace. In 2016, they were valued higher than the cost of their shares. The cost of a share of McDonald's stock today is $209.81. If McDonald's gave each of these 2 million employees a $5 per hour raise, it would cost $13 billion.